Welcome to episode 3 of my hovercar origin series. This is a Revell 1/24 scale 1968 VolksWagen Beetle. Hopefully you've watched the previous episode of my hovercar builds and seen the rocket wagon. This is its counterpart. These two Volkswagen bugs started nearly identical and ended up vastly different. I love VW bugs and I love the SoCal look. Lowered with the tinted windows and a roof rack. It's such a classic look. It was important to me to keep the SoCal look consistent through the entire vehicle. So when I designed the front and rear thrusters, I struggled, but I came up with this design which makes it appear like it has white walls. To me, that gives it the vintage look, and I'm happy with the results. I put some brass plates around it just for a little contrasted color, added the red accent to the rims, and I just hope that it completes the look. Right, here's from the front. I lost one of the side mirrors. Long gone. It's been on my shelf for years. I think that side mirror has been missing for 5 or 6 years. These chrome details that came with the kit are wonderful. The little Volkswagen emblem. So let's talk about these rear thrusters. The air would enter in the front here, these large openings. Does its little magical thing inside this housing, and then your thrust comes out of the two sides. You also have a center thruster, so air comes over the top of the roof, enters. Well, so one of the things I remember about SoCal bugs is the vented trunk lid, and I was always told that it was for airflow, since it's an air-cooled engine and the carbs were back there. People would leave a gap in the lid and it would pull in cool fresh air from the outside. And so I took that and made 2 scoops. You can see these scoops are hinged, and airflow would come off the top and down into the 2 scoops. It comes off the roof and goes into the engine bay and is sucked into those 2 butterfly valves. So I had a friend when I was young, and he had a bug, and I remember we were working on his engine and seeing the dual carb setup. So I wanted to keep that nostalgia, and I put 2 intakes with gigantic butterfly flaps, and that controls the thrust out of the center. And under the hood, there's a large fuel tank. This was standard on some of my first hovercar builds. I figured they would use a ton of fuel and a large fuel tank would be necessary. Some electrical wires, a fuse box. Put a few window stickers on. Let's talk about the roof rack. I wanted to put a jet-powered hoverboard on top of it instead of a surfboard. Never got around to making the hoverboard. But I did create this awesome roof rack out of, you guessed it, styrene rod. That's probably my most used material. Styrene rod, styrene tube as well. So I just made sure to bend the styrene exactly the same, both right and left sides identical. And then I attached 3 supports. Once it was dry, I glued the center slats on horizontally. After I had finished recording, I found some old footage of the hoverboard, so I did want to include it so you could see it. It's not complete, and I no longer have it. You'll notice the windows are a little dark. I used the spray paint. I believe it's called Smoke. It's a transparent paint, and you're supposed to use it for tinting your windows well. Yeah, You can see I botched that. Got the limo tint on there. The top is not attached, obviously. You've seen through this whole video. It's been coming off. And looks like I got a broken seat in here. So you'll remember I referenced Spider-Man earlier. Well, I must have subliminally had it in my head, and I painted the interior red. It's almost the perfect Spider-Man colors. It wasn't intentional. The car is blue, and I had put the red accents on the wheels, and I kind of wanted to match the red accent on the wheels. It was like, well, shoot, this looks like Spider-Man's car, even though this was not the Spider-Man model kit.
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
There are some flight controls. There's a flight yoke. Let's talk about the paint. Did just a sanding technique. Painted the car originally with a rust color, then applied a coat of white, then a coat of blue in the blue areas, and then sanded with fine sandpaper till I achieved the proper gradient. And went back later, touched up areas with a paintbrush, then did a wash with a light orange to give the bleed effect around some of the areas of white. And here's the undercarriage, nothing too special. I started doing some of the weathering, and it looks like I just stopped once I was done with the metal panels. And you may find this interesting. So there's a battery underneath there. All that was a means to hold some pipes or some fuel lines and stuff. This model is old, and those fuel lines have since broken off. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It will help the channel grow. Please click the link above if you'd like to see the next episode. Thank you for watching.
Okay, let's go.